In Creo Parametric 12.4.2, Cable Harness Assemblies replaced cable harness parts. In a previous video, I took a look at importing an XML file with logical references and then designating the components. In this video, we will take a look at handling the spools. And so I have my assembly open. We are in assembly mode. Here's the top level assembly with a couple of structural components. Then there was a harness assembly, which is not one of the new cabling harness assemblies. It has a bunch of connectors and electrical components in it. And in the previous video, I created the new cable harness assembly and a cabling data object. I read in the logical reference data via XML and designated the components. Let's get into cabling mode. I will go to Applications and then Cabling. And again, we get the welcome message. I will click No because I'm not going to read anything. Let me go to the Activate Harness drop-down list, and I will choose the cabling harness assembly that I created previously. In earlier workflows, the way that I learned cabling is that when you were doing XML or even doing manual cabling, you would create your spools as part of the setup. But now I am realizing that with XML data and logical references, you are supposed to create the spools as you go along. And I suspect that might have been the change to the workflow when the new Route Cables dialog box was introduced quite a few years ago. Let me jump right to Route Cables. And then here we have the dialog box. I will use the search tool to find the different wires and cables that it wants me to route from logical data. I will select one of these. I haven't tried this before in this particular model, but let's give one of the wires a shot. I will click the OK button. And so here in the dialog box, we can see the wire that it wants to route. You can see a preview of the simple routing. I have not created a network, so I'm not able to use that. And we have our from location and our to location, but you'll notice that the spool here is grayed out. And I did not previously create any spools or bring them in here. If we take a look in the cable harness assembly, well, it looks like it is going to generate a PRT file for a different spool. I guess that is good, but here is the spool that it wants to create for this particular wire. And we see the other kind of information like the name of the wire and its locations like we would normally see in a cable harness part in previous versions. But again, the point is that you do not have to create your different spools up front. Your spools will be created automatically when you route wires and cables. And so, for example, I can just click the OK button to get out of here. And I don't know, somewhere there should be a wire. Maybe it's hidden on a layer or something like that. Yeah, somewhere there. But anyhow, let's take a look at our spools information. So here's the spools drop down. If we wanted to create spools, well, there is a command here, create spools from file. I showed this in another video, and by default, it is set to XML wireless. You also have the choices for neutral wireless or a DGM file or files from Mentor Graphics. But let's leave the default XML. I will navigate to the XML file that I read in a previous video. I will double click on it, and here we get the layer import dialog box. I will just click the OK button. And so it wants to create these following spools, and there are 5 of them in this list. I will click the OK button, and now it wants me to specify the directory to save them. By default, it is going to my spool directory. That is fine, but just for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to switch over to my working directory and just save it in the same folder as the other components that I'm using in this demonstration. Let me click the OK button. And so I created 5 more spools, but if we take a look in the cable harness assembly, it did not add those different spools to this cable harness assembly. It allowed me to create .prt files, and if I want to, I can now bring in those .prt files. Let me go to the spools drop-down menu, and let's try the add spool command. And let me go to my working directory. And so it's showing a whole bunch of different part files. Let me figure out which one of these I want to bring in. I'm assuming it's going to be one of the ones with a name that looks like a color followed by a gauge number. Let's go with the blue 18. I'm a big fan of the color blue. And so I will, well, actually, before I click the open button, one thing I want to note is that you can't do a multi-select. If I hold down the control key and try to select another different wire, well, that's the only one that I'm going to be able to bring in at this moment. I do hope in the future it changes so that it allows us to do a multi-select and bring in a whole bunch of spools at once. But again, I'll just bring in the blue 18 AWG, and there we can see it at, or excuse me, right below the previous spool that was created. And one thing I've also noticed is that when you create or you bring in the different spools, it automatically organizes them in your cable harness assembly up at the top of the dialog box. One other thing that I want to mention, let's say that you want to edit one of the spools, which you really shouldn't do because they are coming in from XML data, but let's say that you wanted to. Maybe you wanted to change something like the minimum bend radius. Well, you can right click on one of the spools, and then from the mini toolbar, here is the edit spool parameters command. I will click on that. Here we get a warning, and it tells us that if we modify the parameters, this will affect all harnesses that use this spool. Do we want to continue? I will click the OK button just to show you. Here we have the different parameters for the spool if we wanted to change them. And let me cancel out because I'm not actually going to change it. So there you have it. That is the new methodology for spools starting with Creo Parametric 12.4.2.